If you run a digital marketing agency and you use ClickUp for that, I will show you 5 automations that will help you manage your team and your clients and take care of the little things, the little reminders, follow-ups. ClickUp will do that for you, and you need to focus on the big picture and doing what matters. Let's get into it. As you can see, this is a list in ClickUp basically. Let's say you want to send a reminder before a certain period, before the due date of a specific task. Okay, so for example, let's go to tasks list. So as you can see, we have this list, for example, for our team members. Let's say we have this task, okay, and then the due date, for example, is in 1 week. Let's say I want to send a reminder to whoever is the assignee. For example, it is me. Let's say I want to have a reminder before the due date arrives. What you need to do is go to automations right here. Okay, go to manage automations, add a new one. Okay, let's name this, for example, 2 days reminder, and then the trigger. What is the actual trigger? So in this case, we have a date-based trigger. Okay, so what you need to do is go to here and then write before. Let's say here 2 days before due date. As you can see, there is a note says if there is no specific time in the due date, it will default to 4 a.m. Okay, that's fine for us. Let's also add if the status of the task is, for example, is for review or in progress. Okay, confirm. Now, what will happen when this when the trigger? Now we need to set an action. Okay, so we have this is the trigger. This is the condition. If status is in to do or in progress or for review, what will happen? We can do multiple things. One of them is post a comment. Okay, for example, you can do this as a comment, and also there is an important thing we can do is click here. Okay, and then here what we can do is assign the task to someone. Here you can select a specific team member, or what you can do is select the assignees of this task. Okay, so whoever is the assignee on this task, they will get this comment that will be posted. It will get assigned to them. So you can leave a description right here, or you can leave it as it is and then create. Okay, now we have this before the due date. If the task is still not done, we can post the comment. We can also include this to do, for example, or incubate, or whatever we want. And that's the first one. The second automation we can set is regarding the status of a specific task. So for example, if we go to the campaigns list, as you can see right here, we have a list of campaigns, and each campaign is linked to a platform and so on. As you can see in this list, we have a start date. Okay, start date of the campaign. For example, the campaign will start on the 1st of August, but the status should be, for example, planning, okay, or ready to launch. And we need to basically update the status to live when start date hits. Okay, for example, we schedule the campaign on TikTok. Now we need to make sure it's moved to live when it starts. Okay, so go to automations, manage automations, create a new one, and then select start date arrives. Okay, so this is the one. And then what we need to happen is we need to move the status to the task or to the campaign to live. We can do a name. Okay, I always recommend you name your automations properly, so later on you or someone else can come to the automations and see and know instantly what's going on, without going to the automations, just from seeing the title or from reading the title. So we can do this title, move to live on start date, and then we create the campaign. We can also add another one. For example, we have here start date and you have due dates. For example, this one will run for 15 days, okay, from the 1st to the 15th. We also need to move it to, for example, for review. So what I did is I updated the statuses, okay, And now we have planning, ready for launch, live for review, and then archived. So what we can do also is set another automation, just like the first one. In this case, we are using due date. So when due date arrives, move status to for review. And we can also add when due date arrives and also the status is, for example, running. Okay, so if the campaign is not running, even though the due date arrives, we don't change the status to for review. Okay, and then we also can, for example, inform whoever the campaign manager, or for example, you have a specific member who is responsible for monitoring campaigns. We can send them a DM, or we can leave them a comment. Can leave a comment, for example, assign it to, for example, the assignee. Okay, and then create automation. Now we're good. Okay, so this is the second automation that we can use. In this example, it's for campaigns. You can use it to any other thing you want. The third automation is, let's say we have here client feedback list. Let's say the client submitted feedback, okay, and then it's been 24 hours or 72 hours or something like that, and like the team didn't get back to the client yet. Okay, the first status is here, received, when client submits a feedback, and then it's under review, and then action required and that stuff. So let's say a client submitted the feedback, but the team didn't get to it. So what we can do is go to automations and then create a new one. Okay, and then task is created. Okay, we can also specify here from forms. Okay, so the client submitted it, or we can do all of them, doesn't matter. And current date is at least, for example, 2 days. Let's say 2 days, 48 hours after creation date. And also we need to add the status. Okay, and status is received if the date is 2 days after the creation of the task, or in this case the submission, because when a task is created, here we have task type is feedback. Okay, so whenever a client submits feedback, so we submit a new record, and then it has been 2 days and the status is still received. Okay, it's not action required. The team didn't change the status. That means they didn't do anything about it. What we can do is leave a comment. Okay, or for example, change priority. Okay, to urgent, and then for example we need to send for example channel message like this, and then you can select the channel, and then you can select the users. Okay, you can assign it to a specific user, or also we can also tag here. You can tag the assignees of that task, so they take care of it. So for example, you can have a specific chat for each client, and then you send a message there, and then you like inform the whole team that we need to take care of this feedback. Whatever it looks like, that's up to you. And also you can set a proper name. So the fourth automation is to basically update someone on what's happening in a specific list. For example, in this case, we can inform the clients if a task or their feedback is for review. Okay, for example, you can create a new automation and say if the status, okay, is moved to for review, or in this case await client response. Okay, if the task is in this status, then we send a message to the client. We choose the clients from the list. Okay, and then we send a specific message that they need to check the task or their feedback and its status. Okay, because what you can do is leave feedback, for example, on the or an answer for the feedback in the task comments or in the task description or whatever. And once status is changed, you can send the message to the client. Also, what you can do, for example, in the campaigns list, if you have campaigns manager, you can send updates to the campaign manager whenever the campaign is moved to a crucial status. So that's the first one. The fifth one is also very important, especially if you create tasks using forms or API and all that stuff. As you can see, it's a template here, auto assign. Okay, you can auto assign team members. Okay, for example, client feedback. I want me to be assigned for each feedback I get. And also, for example, in the campaigns list, I can be the default assignee for each task, okay, for each campaign. For example, if I can go to automations, and as you can see, auto assign. I can add myself as the auto assignee, and whenever a new campaign is created, I will be the assignee. Okay, and also, as you can see, you have auto watch. You can like monitor tasks of a specific list, so we can do that just from, like, without creating automation. You can do that from here. And yeah, those were the 5 automations that everyone should use. They are very simple, they're not complicated, but they make a huge difference. When you have like a bunch of those small automations in place, they basically take the load off your team members, from doing like little things, reminders, sending messages, like repetitive messages. All of those can be automated, so you can focus on actually doing the work. And then whenever you move statuses, whenever like you complete anything or you do anything, all the little communications happen automatically. I hope you enjoyed it. If you love it, let me know. If you have any questions, comment down below. Other than that, take care.